No need to stress. We have the couch for you with Dr. Pez.
Oh my, doctor, have I been feeling blue the last couple of weeks? I missed you last week. I've been going crazy. My head is having thoughts of Bo Nix versus Matthew Stafford in the playoffs. Who do I have? Who should I get? Is Jonnu Smith a guy I need to spend all my fob on? Dr. Pez, is Bo Nix playoff worthy?
Uh, how many points? He got 26 points. Yes. I'd, I'd, I'd actually say yeah, because his running is the Browns, the Colts. So you can expect two big games from there. The Chargers could struggle, but he played the Chargers earlier in the week, earlier in the season, sorry, and he got 30 points there. What's really good. Then he's got the Cincinnati Bengals, and yeah, as scary as it is, and I will go as bold to say, with how Jaden Daniels' production's dropped off these last couple of games, Bo Nix could sneakily beat him to that Rookie of the Year at the moment.
Oh, he's the
Mm.
favorite.
I think
Going in the backstretch, I think Bo Nix is
I
certainly the
think
favorite right now.
Daniels is still probably tipping it. Like, don't get me wrong, it really helps. He got 43.5 fantasy points yesterday, sorry, but it's like two interceptions, two touchdowns, back to back weeks of interceptions. He's kind of slowly, you know, regressing a little bit, maybe just having a
Yeah.
rookie lull a bit.
Well, I think he was injured a few weeks back, right? So I think he's
Yeah,
playing
he's
with an injury. Reminded me of RG3 so much.
because it's going to be an interesting one. It is between them two for Rookie of the Year, definitely. But on the Bo Nix, yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to start him. Like, he's shown enough now, and he's growing, and you can tell Sean Payton fully trusts him with that team. So, yeah, I, I'd be confident you
Yeah.
could run him into the playoffs.
I think Bo Nix landed in the perfect spot for him as a player with Sean Payton. Sean Payton got the perfect QB for his type of system. It's a match made in
Well,
Bronco heaven.
he's a similar. He reminds me of Drew Brees, the younger Drew Brees.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Sean Payton's looking at it, thinking, I've just got another Drew back, so let's see what they can do with it."
Mm, what they can do. So, what about Jonnu Smith? Is he a guy that is going to be Tua's go-to guy? I mean, he's the surprise tight end of the year, as we always have with Trey McBride last year. This year is Jonnu Smith. Can I rely on him in the playoffs?
At this moment in time, like, it's two games, 38.8, 35.55. It's like, I expect him to have another good game against the Packers next week. The Jets, even though if you look on Sleepers, classes them as a hard matchup, I disagree with that team. You don't know what San Fran are going to be like by week 16. Houston, they seem to be regressing. They got beat off the Titans. And then you've got the Browns. So if you have him in your team, it's like, if you say, let's say you have him and maybe a Jake Ferguson or a Pat Frymouth, I'd be playing Johnny Smith over them. To be quite honest, at this moment in time, I'd play him over Sam Laporta. That's wild.
Yeah, yeah. Laporta has not performed as well this year. The famous
Yeah.
sophomore slump. You know, so I believe we are past the trade deadline. Is that correct, Johnny? Am I
No, you've still got
correct on that?
today
The trade
because
deadline.
we're
Back.
technically still in the
We
week.
have today.
So after tonight's game,
So this changes my question a little bit, or adds a question. If your team has Matthew Stafford, Kyrene Williams, Puka, or Cooper Cup, should I be looking elsewhere if I'm heading to the playoffs?
um,
Rams going to crumble down the stretch?
No, see, if you're taking that out of the game they just had against the Eagles, I just think Matthew Stafford put up a really nice game. I don't think he threw any picks or anything. I did look at his stat line. Let's have a look. 20.
Puka had some good receiving numbers, I believe. 10 receptions for 100 and something yards.
So, yeah, they all got, funny enough, they all got 25, 24, and 21 points. The way Matthew Stafford dices it up and throws it about and stuff, I still think you could Cup and Nakua, I'd still not hesitate at starting them. Stafford, on the other hand, unless you have to play him, it's one of them spot.
Find someone
one of
different.
them.
Yeah,
it's one of them spot starts because if we quickly look at his, he's not got it easy. The Saints' defense has rallied behind. Is it Izzo, their temp manager? Buffalo, their defense seems to be a bit of a weapon at the moment. San Fran is always difficult, but
the Rams,
do you know what?
Man, they have a tough schedule.
Yeah, do you know
this
what?
Year.
Puka and Cup, I'd carry on playing. Stafford, on the other hand, if you have him, I'd try and get another option.
And Kyron Williams?
Yeah, see, I still have.
He's been a touchdown machine in the first 8-9 weeks, and then he kind of cooled off the last couple of weeks, and then a touchdown yesterday,
He's got a nice schedule. See, the Saints struggle against running backs. The Buffalo Bills struggle against pass-catching running backs. And San Fran. So, I'd hold on to Kyron. Like, unless you can trade him away, like you said, unless you can trade him away today for another running back in that top 10, then try and maybe catch someone. Because Mixon has scored a touchdown, I think, in every single game he's played this year until yes.
So you're buying Mixon. Sell Williams,
I think
buy
so, because
Mixon.
If he costs
John Taylor?
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor?
Seems to be still the Colts are still battling. Let's have a look at his schedule going forward. Yeah. The issue is with Taylor, depending on your situation and your depth, he has a bye at week 14. What is the playoffs? And could cost you.
Yikes. First
but if
week,
you
I believe, right?
have the strength, he has the Patriots this week coming up, a bye, the Broncos, the Titans, and then the Giants to finish. Now,
oh my, that's the guy to have
because
if you
to the back end,
yeah,
the Titans and the Giants may have just been checked out a little bit. Oh, so the last game. Oh, right, okay.
Last game of the regular season. So there you go. If you've clinched your playoff spot, you're looking good. Go get Taylor.
Go get Taylor.
Well done.
I just think as well, if I was someone in a league where Cup, Puka, or Kyron are on teams that are struggling, I'd go and try and get them now, because the team who's struggling might get a bit pissed because they saw what happened with the Rams and the Eagles yesterday, but no one's giving the Eagles credit for actually being one of the biggest threats in the whole league to derail any team going. Like, both sides of the football, they're really gelling at the moment, but because everyone hates Nick Sirianni, no one's actually looking at the product they're putting on the field, and they're destroying it at the moment. So,
Sirianni. I hate the Eagles. I hate them. They used to be my second most hated team in the NFL, behind the Niners. But they are certainly the most hated team for me. I really hate the Eagles. Buddy Ryan, fucking snowball guy. Anyway, so I have another question but we'll see how time is going, and maybe I will ask the last question at the end. I will put it in the chat box if you want to answer it later. You can, seeing how time is going. But let's take a look at our rookies here, Johnny. All right, we got our first rookie here, which we have already talked about a little bit, which was Jaden Daniels. 43 points in the fantasy world. You gotta love that. While his team has certainly regressed, Jaden Daniels and his stats, as far as fantasy stats, are wow, blistering. 2 TDs, you can't like that. Has the NFL started to figure him out? Is he hitting the wall in the rookie year? Or should we be expecting 43 or 30 to 40 points every week?
Looking at his points, I think you do expect a solid, like, definitely over 20, but I go as bold to say like a minimum of 20 to 25 points per game. You look at the games where he kind of struggled. The Carolina game, I think, is the game he went out injured, so you could take that out. And then the Steelers game, he only got 9 points, but that's always bound to happen just because of their defensive front. You always knew it was going to be a hard game. If not, you're lying to yourself. And then he kind of bounced back against Philly, who's got another strong defensive front with just under 20 points. And then he came back in a massive way with 43.5. So I don't think you panic about him because he used his legs. He got himself a rushing touchdown yesterday again, something he's not done in 7 games. So hopefully he's healing better with that rib injury he got in the Panthers game, and he's going to start running again going down the stretch because, like you said, teams are kind of figuring out this Washington team. They don't have the receivers. They don't have the depth at pass catcher. They've not got the quality, so he's going to have to start playing a bit of hero ball, Lamar Jackson style soon. What's only good for us fantasy players.
Yeah, being a Cowboys fan, of course, the Commanders are my top 5 most hated teams, right? But I do hope that Daniels has a longer career as a starter for the Commanders than RG3 did. He's explosive. He's an amazing talent. He's fun to watch. His stats, 2,400 yards with 5 games left. He's going to be close to 4,000 yards as a rookie. I think that's great at 5 interceptions, 12 TDs with his rushing stats. Future star of the NFL, just like Lamar Jackson. Next year could be an MVP year. Who knows? I think Lamar won it his second year, did he not?
Did he win?
Or was it Lamar's third?
Did he win it in his rookie year?
Let's see. What year did... Well, Johnny can check on that while we talk about our next rookie. Johnny, who do we have in our next rookie?
We got the Bo Nix.
All right. Bo Nix. Sorry about that. I was actually looking up. We have Bo Nix, which, of course, we have already talked about, ironically enough, which was the 12th pick for the Broncos. And I think he had a great game. He had some bad throws, of course. He's a rookie, but overall, he did not throw any costly INTs. 2 touchdowns for the year, only 6 INTs with 16 touchdowns, and he has 4 rushing touchdowns versus Daniels 5 rushing touchdowns. I will say again, I think Bo Nix is right now the leader for Rookie of the Year. If the vote was today, I think Nix would win
it. Recency bias, yeah, Bo Nix will probably win the win Rookie of the Year, but altogether, yeah, so he won it in his second year. Lamar Jackson, just to answer that question. Yeah. like obviously we look at it from a fantasy standpoint. You got to look at it as feel like body of work and like actual
Right.
play, but it's going to be a hard one really to split these two up. He's got the more favourable schedule going down the stretch. They've both got the same bye week. What's quite funny enough, like it kind of in fantasy terms, no one gets an advantage on the other. They both literally have week 14 off together.
Mm.
Um, he has the more consistency. Like if you look at the INTs, 2 back to back, weeks 1 and 2, then nothing for 3 weeks, 1, nothing for 2, 1, nothing for 3. So he's probably going to throw a pick next week just to look at the balance of consistency in his interceptions. But look at his touchdown rate, like consistency in his touchdown throwing. He runs the football as well. So it is going to be an interesting race with these two. I don't think you're wrong by saying Bo Nix is in front or Jaden Daniels is in front. I think they're just literally neck and neck. They're just
I
neck
think
and
you're
neck.
right.
Like
Neck and neck.
Bo Nix just looks so comfortable. Like Sean Payton, when he first came into the league, it's funny because he came into the league and he looked nothing like you saw at Oregon, where he got all the hype. And then as the years gone on, he's got stronger and stronger, and he's just
Yeah,
he started really bad, and it's like everyone's laughing at Sean Payton, and everyone's saying, you dumbass, saying he's the next Patrick Mahomes and all this, that, and the other. He's definitely not the next Patrick Mahomes, but he definitely potentially could be the next somebody because
he's the first Bo Nix.
Shocking. Like he's his own person, but everyone likes to compare everyone to someone in the past. But I watched because I was watching the Seahawks last night, so I was watching the majority of their games because the Packers were just absolutely dog walking the Niners, what I absolutely loved. So their game was on red zone a lot. And he's just spreaded the ball. Like he doesn't get overwhelmed. He doesn't rush himself. If he messes up and like he doesn't like try and force anything stupid and things like that, he just seems to have a really good control of his offense now. What I think's only going to benefit him in the stretch for that Rookie of the Year. I think he's just still getting better and better and better.
Yeah, I was actually thinking exactly what Martin was thinking. He reminds me of Dak as a rookie. Dak had the legs, but he didn't use it as his primary weapon. Dak had, I think, 24 touchdowns versus 4 INTs his rookie year. He was very disciplined and was able to win a lot of games that on his. Well, he also had Ezekiel Elliott, I believe, to help him out. Of course, the Broncos' running game has not shined as much as I thought it would. I thought Williams would have a much bigger year than he has. But Cortland Sutton, as I believe Johnny pointed out, he started off slow, but the last 3-4 weeks, wow. Sutton owners must be happy now.
Did he get two touchdowns last night, Sutton?
I think so. Yeah.
I should know he's in my team, and I bet he's on my freaking bench because I got absolutely dog walked in the Orkney this week. Oh yeah, because he had Saquon Barkley, 62.545. Johnny, your scoring's crap. Fucking cost me. Oh.
Yeah, I lost as well this week. My good vibes of my team, but I don't think I'm the lowest scoring team anymore. I've actually done fairly decently in my scoring.
I've got Tua on my bench. How the hell did Tua get 41.45 fucking points?
Yeah, man. Tua owners right now, they're thinking, my gosh, I must be the gods are shining on me. Barkley. Johnny must be hating life right now, man. Releasing his $40 million QB, Daniel Jones, that they chose over Barkley. Barkley has 300 scrimmage yards, the 5th player in history, I think, to do it.
We should have got Johnny in for the couch.
Wow.
I think he needs it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll give him some private time at the end of this the end of
Oh,
the episode here.
look at Martin. Have you seen Martin's message?
Uh,
Made a future trades pick to win now in a keeper league and ran into Barkley Jacobs and Noah Gray.
oh my.
Oh, that's fucked. Oh man, that's disgusting.
Fantasy, man. Actually, Johnny and I are in a league called Playing for Keepers, a keeper league, and I think I am third in the overall points scored, but I'm like ninth in the standings because I am number one in points against. Every week I'm playing like the top one or top two point scorer. I'm like, what? Come on. How is this possible? And the guy with the best record, I have like 300 points more than him or something. I don't know. But, or I might actually I'm exaggerating, hyperbole. I think I'm actually like 20. Yeah, Art, yeah, you beat me twice. The last one ended my playoff chances. You fucking asshole. Johnny is my kryptonite in fantasy. I don't know if I've ever beat him. Now Luke or Duke Mueller, I think I beat him almost 90% of the time. He must hate it when I come up on the schedule, right? But Johnny, I can never seem to beat him.
No, look at
Yeah,
him rubbing
yeah,
it
yeah,
in.
yeah.
In my in a quick one
Whatever.
in my mates league, Johnny's in that, and I played him this week, and he had Achan and Johnny Smith. I've got like loads of my top players on bye. I picked Christian Watson up. If I picked
Yeah.
any other middling wide receiver, I'd have a shot at going for him. But then in my best ball, what we won alongside it, I'm playing Johnny in the main league in the best ball, and I've absolutely destroyed him because I drafted the whole Eagles. Fuck off.
I think Johnny is looking for a cricket. Hiring one cricket.
Hiding away in the back there. Looking wanker.
To play that violin. All right, Johnny, let's get out of here with Bo Nix. Quick question. If you had a choice between Nix and Daniels' playoff run, who you taking? How much do you consider the injury possibility?
I think the injuries for both of them at this moment in time, I think you're pretty safe, but schedule and consistency, I think Bo Nix is probably your more favourable one. Whereas if you've got Jaden Daniels, you've got to be happy he's rushing touchdowns in again because that's what's going to get him all them points. It's going to help him in the pass game because people are going to have to start respecting his legs again because I don't think teams have been doing that, and I think it's something he's going to have to start doing again. But for now, Bo Nix will probably be your safe option.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're all three on board, and usually when all three of us agree, we're wrong, as we were last
Bo Nix injured this
in the
weekend.
Thursday night football game.
ACL.
Down with a torn ACL and a ruptured Achilles, missing 18 months. Oh my. You know, I'm kind of excited. Just imagine these young QBs coming in. You know, JJ McCarthy next year is going to be back. You've got Bo Nix. You got Jaden Daniels. Wow, these young quarterbacks are starting to show. And next year, we're going to have Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward that could possibly be shining. You know, we're finally replacing these old guys of Breeze and Peyton and Rodgers. I'm excited for it. All right, Johnny, let's go to the next one. Drake May. That's it. I knew I was missing one. Johnny may have had to take a break, so we'll just continue. So, are there any free agents, possible free agents? I know every league is different. So, are there any free agents that you would consider? Oh, Drake May, rookie. I see. Dr. Pez, I told you I'm having mental health issues here. Why didn't you say something? I thought it was Bo Nix. It looks just like the Bo Nix picture. Can you go back to Bo Nix, Johnny? I want to see the. Yeah, okay. And let's go to Drake May. Besides the color of the uniform, they look the exact same. I'm colorblind. I don't judge based on color of jerseys. Oh my. So, yeah. Thank you, Johnny. So Drake May, everybody, because they can't wait to have another Tom Brady, cheating his way to 7 Super Bowl victories. They've been overhyping Drake May so much. And I think that this is the true Drake May. Someone that's not going to lose you the game, but he's definitely not going to win you the game.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about this?
I think you're right. To be honest, I think the Patriots have the pieces on both sides of the ball. But was it Martin who put a comment in there? This offseason, they need to strengthen their O-line, protect him a lot better. And what else was there with that team? What I thought the other day? It's really O-line, because I do like maybe a better receiver as well. To be honest, I'd say I don't mind like Polk. I think he's a really good player. So really strengthen the O-line and strengthen the running back room. I think strengthen the O-line, running back room are the two key pieces for them. And then obviously getting experience, try and get a good quality experienced wide receiver for Drake May. Because I think the defense is pretty set. I think that Mayo will be able to do his business with the defense. I feel like the defense could have regressed a little bit as time's gone, because like when the offense isn't really getting going, the defense, you check out a little bit, don't you? You're just kind of a bit like, this is fucking bullshit, but what we're playing for type. But I think fresh start next year, get him more protection, get him a decent run game, because Stevenson's all right, but I think there's better out there. Like, I think they'll go for Travis Hunter.
I've already typed it. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They have right now, if you look at all the mock drafts, they have 2 wide receivers picked in the top 5, I believe. So I think the Patriots will finish in the top 5. They're going to have the chance, I think, to draft their wide receiver of the future, knowing that Bill Belichick is not there. They certainly have a better chance of getting a good wide receiver. Because as we all know, any wide receiver drafted by Bill Belichick is literally destined to fail in the NFL. Inkel Henry, anyone? Or is that his name? Inkel Henry? Inkiel, or whatever his name is?
Yeah, he's at the Seahawks. He's in our practice squad now.
Yeah, is he? Is he? Yeah, you need it. He's on your team. You're like, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, that guy.
He's a converted into a tight end now.
Oh, is he? And how's he doing? Is he making progress in that front? I mean, I pull for the guy as I do any, person that is drafted by the NFL. They have dreams, but he certainly did not work well for the Pats. No wide receiver worked well for the Pats. They traded for Wells.
Belichick just hates them all, doesn't he?
So, I think so. He can't seem to get good young wide receivers. He had Moss, but they traded for Moss. They traded for Welker. I guess Edelman, but Edelman was a QB in college, funny enough. And, who else did they have at wide receiver that was drafted high?
I think the stat was,
well,
a highly drafted wide receiver at the Patriots just never succeeded.
Yeah. It was crazy. But any defensive back they drafted almost immediately became all-pro. I mean,
he knew what he was doing with them.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You could get a round six DB and make him an All Pro by
Pretty
year
much.
three. Crazy. And linebackers always seem to do well, but not linebackers brought in. You remember Bart Scott from the Ravens?
No. How long ago was that?
About 10 years ago, he made All Pro. The Patriots signed him to the
Bart
free
Scott.
agency, and they released him like a year later. He
No,
stunk.
I don't remember that.
Is it Bart Scott? I
Nah.
think it's Bart Scott.
Anyway, that's too much Patriots
Anyway,
talk.
Johnny,
Far too much.
yeah, I
Yeah, they
hate the
suck.
Patriots. I hate them.
Here he is. Here he fucking
Yeah, yeah. So it is Bart Scott. I'm right. All right, Caleb Williams. Of course, everyone wants to talk about Bo Nix. I mean, Caleb Williams here. Uh, different picture and color. I noticed. Caleb did not look terrible yesterday. He made some amazing plays. To me, he doesn't remind me much different than Fields. I mean, they seem to be the exact same quarterback with almost the exact same numbers. Uh, did the Bears do the right thing, letting Fields go and drafting Williams?
The Bears did the wrong thing by keeping Eberflus as the head coach. He's awful. I've never liked him. Awful. Like he had a really good. Caleb had a really good game. He had a really good game against the Packers as well. But it's like you said there. You make the very valid point that they did this with Justin Fields. Eberflus wanted Fields and Caleb to play a certain way. It wasn't working. So then at the final quarter of the season, he eventually lets them play quarterback the way they are comfortable at playing quarterback, and then they start showing what they can potentially do. I just don't get it. Like you said, it is a mirror image with Fields and him. Don't get me wrong, Fields has a few like more weaknesses than what Caleb does, but we'll find out next week because he's playing Detroit. We're going to find out next week. He's playing Detroit, then he's got San Francisco, then he's got the Vikings, and then he's got Detroit, and then he's got Seattle and Green Bay.
Yeah, just imagine all the offensive coordinators they could have hired. They could have hired Kingsbury out of Washington, right? They could have hired a lot of OCs that are excelling this year, but they got Shane Waldron that no one heard of,
Well, he was at Seattle.
right?
Do you not remember? Have you not seen the clip?
Huh? He
Have
was
you not
from
seen the
Seattle.
clip? So last year's Super Bowl, Jackson Smith and Jigba was at the media day doing an interview, and he was live. It was being live streamed, and he got asked, saying, "Oh, so have you heard Shane Waldron's been hired as the Bears OC?" And along the lines, he paused for a minute and went, "Are we live?" And he was like, yeah, we're live. And he was like, "Oh, I'm only messing." He went, "Yeah, good luck, guys." That's all he said. You know, like how players normally go, "Oh, yeah, he's such a good guy. He's such," like literally buried him.
I love it.
Buried him.
Oh, my. Oh, my. I'm starting to like JSN a lot more.
Oh,
I really am. He might be my new favorite young wide
he's
receiver
brilliant.
that everyone's going to overpay for, and then in 2 years I'm going to regret I didn't get him and overpay in my dynasty.
Yeah. He is brilliant. This year he's just been sensational. But yeah, back onto Caleb. I feel like
So let me ask you this question: if you're starting a dynasty league, because we already know we're not starting him in the playoffs in the OrkneyBowl. So if you're starting a dynasty league, what round do you pick Caleb Williams?
yeah, that's true, Martin. Just looking at Martin's comment. Yeah, that is true. I don't understand why they don't do this. I made a point last year or the year before. Like, look at what teams did in the last couple of seasons. Like, the Bengals got Burrow, and then they got his best mate. They got Jamar Chase because it works. Who else did that?
Bo Nix got his guy
with
Franklin. But Franklin has struggled so far, but he's coming on. He's been showing signs.
And then it's like Stroud asked for Tank Dell for whatever reason, and then last year
Yes, he did.
after he got drafted, specifically said, "Can you trade Tank Dell for me?" They got him, and them two had a really good connection together. And I think there's another pairing that came out of college, and then they followed each other. Like I feel like if
Yeah, as well. I keep trying to think of who it was, and I
feel
can't
like,
remember. That's what happens
yeah, I
at
feel
my
like
age.
if the Texans got Marvin Harrison or JSN, like that connection for the Texans would be absolutely just outrageous. But then I think Ed Abike is coming out of Ohio State this season because he stayed an extra year and he played with Stroud. So it'll be interesting to see if the Texans go try and get him to marry him back up with Stroud. So yeah, it does make a compelling argument to keep them as
What about, do you think the Bears would draft a wide receiver in the top 10 next year?
no.
Pair with Odunze, right? Because Allen really
Allen had a
didn't.
really good game yesterday.
Yeah,
Really good game. But
right, but he's getting old, right? So you're going to need a number
Allen
two.
literally is the 1 year. He'll probably be gone next year. DJ Moore will probably still be
Right.
there. Adunze will probably still be there. So yeah, maybe you go to USC, maybe find one of Caleb's
Mm-hmm.
pals. But I think Adunze will come on a lot better next year. It's that Eberflus for me. I can't take the Bears serious. I can't look at them. Caleb Williams, hopefully he's had a humbling experience this year, but I couldn't stand his demeanour and attitude. But I can't take that team serious at all until that Eberflus is out of there, in my opinion.
Right. I agree. Uh, but of course, the Bears always seem to make the craziest head coaching hires. What's the guy's name that was in the Canadian Football League? They hired him, and then they replaced him with John Fox. It was obvious he was washed up after his Denver, gig
So he
was
got
up.
absolutely bummed in the Super Bowl by the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think it's the curse of Lovie Smith. They won like 10 games, and then they fired him, replaced him, I think, with John Fox, I believe is what it was, and they've basically sucked ever since.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Should we get off the Bears as well? Because that's
All
far
right,
too
let's
much
go to the
Bear
next one,
talk.
Johnny.